You're gonna take it away. I'm looking for. Let's see. There it is. I got like a billion questions. So.
Can we start with why they call you Mr. Shine? And I know you said by they, it's just me and Vanessa.
Nobody calls me Mr. Shine.
We call you Mr. Shine.
Okay, it's Mr. Shaun. .com.
That's right.
Because back in 2014, I used to do erotic massage for women, so happy ending.
Yes.
Massage for women, and I called myself Mr. Shaun.
Oh, it's not. I said. Way did I say Mr. Shine? Oh,
that's just what you heard, and then you made a wax on, wax off reference,
right?
Because I was doing that to women. Anyways.
Well, in the 80s, I got a lot of wax on, wax off references because being Asian American, so this is my turn to use that back.
Yeah, thank you.
To white people.
It was fun. It was a fun job.
Well, before we move on, how because it's interesting, and I bring that up because that has it's called the Yoni massage.
Yoni.
The Yoni, and it's become a thing now, which I think is great because women deserve happy endings.
Do you just always start your podcast just hardcore cold like this, where you just jump right in to Yoni?
Do you think we have time, especially with
nowadays?
With nowadays where you have about 3 seconds to grab someone's attention. You want to take the shell into the pool? You want to talk about where you were born?
No. I think Yoni massage is a good place to start.
That's me throwing you into the deep end with the floaties.
So to answer your question, I do think that women deserve more orgasms. There's an orgasm gap that's absolutely true,
yes.
And erotic massage for men has been a thing forever.
Right.
For forever. But there's no real place for women to go and get that kind of service.
Yes, and so now it's become a thing. I think a lot of people, and it's still underground. It's because it's not legal, right?
It's super new age. The idea of a Yoni massage is really new, sort of hippie parlance for just like, an erotic massage for women.
Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of like emerging in this space instead of like, in shady massage parlors where that's where men get them.
Yeah,
it's organically happening and stemming from a place of self-care and being sexually empowered, not like a shameful, shady thing you do, in an alleyway or something.
Well, I think I've thought of the idea of having this as a business, like starting a sensual massage, like spa experience, basically, where there's an intake, it feels very safe, it's soothing, it's relaxing.
And then you get the option to do the Yoni or not.
The Yoni. Yeah, I think a lot of women have had this fantasy of like their massage therapist going for a little extra,
Yeah.
But oftentimes the thing with fantasies is they fall short.
Yes. Like the threesome. I've never had a threesome, but I've heard that it's a lot more fantasy. It's more awkward when you actually execute something like that because it doesn't match up to the fantasy in your head.
I also haven't had a threesome with two women.
Right.
But I've had one with another man before.
Yeah, and that's all. Maybe we could circle back to that too.
Or maybe we can make that happen if you want a three. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Right now, live.
I guess. I don't know.
I'll take anything with a happy ending, man.
Yeah, I heard you have a really high libido. Actually,
I do. So real quick. So the love drive. Right, and I know you started mostly on TikTok, but before we get to this, let's just. I don't feel like we finished.
Nice.
So you started as a masseuse, and it wasn't Yoni. It was just right, and then, or did you always have the intention?
Oh no, I was never a massage therapist.
Oh,
I went to Esalen. I did a weekend workshop on how to do massage, but the idea was always to do erotic massage.
Oh, that was from the get-go.
Yeah, because a friend told me. A friend said, "Hey,
that kind of takes balls.
You would make a great escort, a male escort." But the problem is that there's no marketplace for straight male companions. That's what they're called, right? But there's a marketplace like Craigslist, online, brothels, whatever. There's plenty for men seeking those kinds of services, but there's nothing for women seeking.
Agreed.
And so I was like, I could maybe do that, but then since there's no marketplace, then I'd have to be hanging out in like hotel lobbies, and like just kind of cruising for clients, and I didn't really feel...
I don't think that would work with a male escort.
I would get kicked out.
Yeah,
I would get kicked out.
I think with male escorts, it's a lot of referrals or word of mouth. Women are not looking for male escorts in hotel rooms.
No,
That's
I think
how men
that's how men. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how, or they go online. And so I figured, oh, what if I did erotic massage? And then I put up a website called MrShaun.com, because I misspelled it. I spelled it SEAN instead of SHAUN to like throw off the cops.
Oh, got it.
You know,
Yeah.
they'd be like, oh, this is a different guy.
Right.
His name's spelled differently.
Right. So I would spell my name JON instead of JOHN.
Yeah, they'd be like, it's a different
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Different therapist.
That would make me feel safe. So this was early on. This was how many years ago?
10 years ago.
10 years ago, a decade
Yeah.
you did this. And it was short-lived, right? You did it for a little bit.
Did it for like 6 months.
It's very short.
Yeah, 6 months to a year. About a massage a day, about 5 massages a week.
That's still a lot, man.
was
A
a lot.
massage a day?
Yeah.
And so not every massage ended up being Yoni.
No, they all did.
Oh, every single one?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. That's
Okay.
what I was selling.
So I'm thinking of questions that people are going to like generally want to ask you, and that would be one of them. Obviously, would be how do you know if you're is there a secret word? Is there a touch? How do you know that okay now this one is going to get a happy ending and this one is actually not? Or did
they came to me specifically?
Oh, so you knew 100%. If I'm going to massage you, it's you want the whole package.
I mean, it was called Happy Ending Sensual Massage for Women. It was very clear. But also on the website, I was like explicitly vague or vaguely explicit about what would happen. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of talk about like sensual modalities and like intimate touch, but never said like, I'm going to touch your vagina, basically.
Right.
And then at some point, like the first part of the massage was sensual, but like still PG-13.
Sure.
A lot of like teasing, build up. And then there was always a conversation about like, shall I continue?
And this was an hour massage, so long runway.
90 minutes.
Holy shit, that's actually work, man.
It was work.
That's a lot of work.
That's why I can only do one a day or one per day. It was a lot of energy, a lot of like sexual energy.
And was it hard, like you obviously got aroused in some of the sessions.
All
right?
of them.
All of them.
Every single one of them.
Was it hard to draw that line and you are being of service and obviously you're going to take care of yourself maybe later or give yourself a cold shower? Was there always an urge to like, oh, can we go further with this?
Not really. No, it was like a sort of an act of service.
Well, also, if you're getting paid, it's very professional. You don't want to...
Yeah, but it's, I mean, sex work, you can kind of blur the lines there for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that definitely happens, right? Like, sex workers are also getting pleasure sometimes.
Did you also... Were there clients that you wanted to date?
No. Never.
Oh, really?
No. A lot of... most of my clients were like either in sexless marriages or divorced or widowed, and it was like their first experience after losing their partner or stuff like that. But they weren't, and some of them were like unconventionally attractive. You know, they were like not someone that I would be turned on.
Right, yeah. I wonder if, and I know we'll move on, but I wonder if, because I hear with men, it's not even about the sex, but it's about men feeling kind of undesired, unfulfilled in their marriages or relationships. So they, go get a happy ending, and they're talking a lot. They're actually using the sex worker almost as a therapist, whether it's an escort or whatever it is. And I wonder if for women that is also happening, or if they just want an orgasm. And
they were not talking. They were not. I mean, a lot of them lost the power of speech. Not all of them, but a lot of them did.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were just looking to have a pleasurable experience where they didn't have to give; they could just receive. And actually, a lot of them had a hard time just receiving.
Sure.
Like the tendency would be to like to touch me, and I would say like, "No, this is for you."
Oh,
and like,
interesting, because they're so used to pleasuring.
It would be they want it to be reciprocal,
or they're so used to that. That's like I'm so used to just pleasuring my partner. I'm forgetting about myself, and in this space, I'm supposed to put myself first, and that's weird for me.
It was hard for people pleasers.
Yes.
To just like relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for this. I don't know.
Well, you have your fingers in a lot of pies, so we could just.
That's a little obvious, man. That was a little forced. I hope your massages weren't that forced. Were your massages that forced?
No, they were very present and loving.
Okay, they weren't that forced.
No, they weren't. I'm like
let's be serious. I am rooting for this because I do feel like for so long men have been getting happy endings. I think it's time for women to Yeah, to come and to want it when they want it, how they want it, and that should,
Yeah, I think there
as long
are
as people are safe about it.
I think there are some considerations. Like generally, women don't feel as safe being around men, and so you'd have to almost.
There's a lot of women doing it to other women.
Yeah, or you would have to have a madam, right? You'd have to have
like a negotiator. Or
the boss lady would be a woman, and then she would have male providers,
right?
Because there's a lot of women who don't want a female provider. They want, they're attracted to men.
But they want that male to be vetted.
They want them to be vetted and safe and all that stuff.
Yeah. They don't want to just find that guy because of the sign that he was, the shingle he was hanging on his car.
No, which is what I kind of did.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So did the Love Drive, was that the spin-off of this? Or is that something
it's just completely separate.
So you did this. Okay, final question before I move on. This is my personal question. Did you get better at... being a lover because of it?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you watch videos on how techniques and stuff, or did you just?
I've been promiscuous since I was like 15.
Doesn't mean that you're good.
Well, I like women and I like pleasurable experiences, and like I also want to please, and so I think I'm pretty good.
Okay.
And I've learned some things like how to be in tune, how to be present. I've read books. She Comes First is a great book. Come As You Are, like.
So Shaun and I have a competitive thing going, and so I'm already getting very competitive, thinking, how can we do this where there's a point system?
We don't do it. No.
Because also
we invest.
Now
in the
then we're
business.
turning women into objects.
Yeah, we invest in the business. We make sure it's a great enterprise and a great experience for everybody, but we're not involved.
The Love Drive, how did that happen? So you did that. Well, why did you end it? It just felt like a dead end kind of thing.
It was affecting me, my dating life. People didn't want to date me. I was also giving away a lot of sexual energy. Yeah, but also there was no energy left for me. It was just kind of all going out, and so it just didn't make sense anymore.
Oh, that's interesting.
But the Love Drive, so concurrently around that same time, I was driving a taxi in San Francisco, and I got bored. Driving a taxi is really boring, and I put cameras and lights and microphones in the cab, like guerrilla style.
Right.
I go get the cab at the cab yard. I drive back to my house real quick. I clip on a bunch of GoPros, lights. I had panels, LEDs, everything plugged into the cigarette lighter.
Did you tell them that they were being recorded?
So I did a whole bunch of different like formats. But at first, I wouldn't tell them, and I would tell them after.
And then they had a choice to not use it.
Yeah,
right,
and
like a lot of these.
I always had people sign a release.
Yeah.
They always knew at some point that they were being recorded. But I got way more people that were mad about the fact that they were being recorded.
Oh.
And so I just started saying, "Hey, welcome to the Love Drive." Right? I'm driving around talking about love.
Right. And why love?
It's just something I've always wanted to talk about and like fascinated about, and also something I've struggled with a lot. Like I've always struggled with this. Like I'm 41. I'm still single.
When you say you struggle with love, are you saying you struggle with relationships, or you struggle with the ability to love? What do you mean by that?
Self-love, giving it to others, relationships, like the whole thing. Just
love in general.
It's just been complicated for me.
And
so I'm in the trenches. I'm in the trenches. That's why people are like, "Why you? Like you're single. Why are you coaching people?" Because I'm still struggling, and so I have. It's like you don't want to listen to a guy who like married his high school sweetheart at 18. To give you love advice? What does he know about being out there, on the mean streets of Altadena?
Can you not give away where I?
Sorry,
I've been saying it.
People know. People know.
And then you started a TikTok.
No.
You did this thing for kind of, which is I love the idea.
I was doing the taxi thing and I was putting them up on YouTube. I mean, this is 2014. This was way before TikTok.
Oh wow!
And then I started a podcast. I got certified as a coach. Started coaching people. Kept on making videos. Then TikTok came around. I started using TikTok a little bit for fun. The pandemic happened. The TikTok blew up. That helped the Instagram blow up.
Yeah.
And at some point, I was like doing courses and groups, and now retreats.
So it's all kind of evolving
into more in-person stuff.
I mean, is it still fairly new for you, or do you feel like you've been doing this? I feel like I've been doing this forever, just because I started on Tumblr in 2010, and this is way before social and even like broadband. But just because I'm kind of still doing the same thing, just because it's Instagram doesn't make it different for me.
No,
I'm still documenting my story.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're much better at documenting your story than I am. I don't know. People know more about you than they know about
I think I've been doing it longer. I don't know if there's a better or worse. I think it's just different,
I'm just excited.
You answer a lot of questions.
I do a
Which
lot.
we're going to do today.
I do a lot of Q&A. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to do Q&A. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like this is just like what I was meant to do, but I keep changing the format every so often. Do the courses for a bit, I get bored about that.
Right.
Do the groups for a bit, I get
Right.
bored. I do retreats, I get bored.
We met because we were speaking, so you speak.
We speak,
You
yeah.
were speaking.
We spoke.
What is your favorite thing to do? How do you see all of this for you evolving? Or are you just like, whatever happens, I'm just in it for the ride?
I mean, I want to be writing more. I don't. The Instagram thing, the social media stuff is kind of frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of input, right? A lot of comments and DMs and.
Why do you think people follow you?
I give them like sassy but straightforward love advice in a kind way. It's sort of like the advice that your older brother might give you if he cared about you.
You know, I think I think that's it. And I also think meeting you in person, you don't have a lot of false moments. Like that's the person that you show up as on the internet or on social media. Are you even active on TikTok? Just Instagram?
Not anymore.
Yeah, just Instagram.
No, I just have 300,000 followers just sitting there wondering,
on TikTok.
Wondering what happened to me.
Yeah. I have 430.
You win.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
We're always competing.
Hey,
I got recognized more times yesterday than you did.
You had to say that. When you say more times, it happened once.
Well, actually 3 times. I got all those DMs.
Oh.
Yeah. At the place.
3 people recognized you in that restaurant?
No. Different restaurants.
Oh my god!
Different
I was going to
restaurants.
stop this episode.
Yeah. I should move to Alta. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of made me angry because he got recognized in my home. It's like having a home game and the visitors
And
win.
you're losing. Yeah,
And
you're
I win.
losing. Yeah.
All right. We're being ridiculous. We don't really care. I don't.
I don't care.
Who cares? I don't really care.
I want to write. I want to write more.
Okay.
And I want a TV show.
Yes.
I just want to reach more people, basically.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to do everything on my own. I've been working on my own for 10. I haven't had
I know what that feels like.
a paycheck from like a steady paycheck from a company since 2010.
You're also in a kind of a. This is also paralleling your personal life because you're going through a huge transition. You're moving, right? You sold your house. You're kind of deciding where you want to land.
Yeah, I lost my dad last year.
lost your dad.
My relationship ended.
So many things, right? Kind of all at once. They say when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, I got my house got broken into. All my stuff got stolen.
Jeez.
I did recover it like an hour later because the guy stole my laptop and I still have my phone.
Oh,
and I
nice.
tracked him to a subway station.
Oh my gosh.
And he was sitting there in the corner with my bike, a backpack with my laptop, my dead dad's laptop, passports, cash, like everything. I got everything back except for the shoes that I let him keep because he was going to jail. I didn't want him to go to jail without shoes on.
No, that's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a rough year.
How long was the relationship?
It was short. It was 9 months. But it was like
I mean,
it was one of those important ones.
Yeah,
you know?
I wouldn't judge a relationship based on how long because some relationships are intense and it could be one summer, or a relationship can be 10 years, but it might have died 2 years in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
but it was an important relationship for you.
it was. Yep.
Can I ask why?
Why was it important?
Yeah, why was it significant?
I mean, sometimes you feel like a level of kinship with someone that you haven't felt in a long time, and that's kind of what it felt like. I had a relationship end when I left Montreal, maybe like three or 4 years ago, and that was a kind of an important one. It was 3 years long, and I kind of felt like that was the one I was going to marry and have kids with, and then she needed to be alone and moved to Costa Rica, and turns out she moved to Costa Rica and immediately shacked up with a new guy. And that one was hard. It was a hard breakup to process. It took a long time. And so this latest relationship, it was the first person that I'd felt, a connection with in 3 years. And it felt like it had legs.
What did you learn about love from this exploration, the most recent?
That sometimes love isn't enough. And then also, I think what I learned, the most important thing I learned was that grief can really fuck you up.
Well, that happened. You got like a 1, 2, 3 punch.
Yeah, I got a 1, 2, 3 punch.
it all came at once.
And I wasn't able to show up
to the relationship because your dad just passed.
Exactly.
And all this.
I wasn't able to show up. I mean, I couldn't even take my dog out for a walk.
Oh wow.
So it was pretty debilitating, and so it's hard. It's hard.
How did you get back out of that kind of depression? How did you get back on your feet? And this was less than a year ago.
Yeah, it'll be a year in June.
Yeah.
tried to surround myself with friends, made some plans to exit Arizona, which didn't feel... I think what I realized after my dad passed was that I needed to be surrounded by my loved ones.
Yeah.
People, my ride or dies.
Yeah,
And those people live either in San Francisco, and they live in San Francisco and Montreal. And so I started making moves.
Oh, fuck.
I started making moves. John's camera just
This is
fell off the helmet.
This is a John Kim production, if you don't know.
It's pretty good. So I made a decision to spend more time with my friends and the people that really love me, and to stop doing work that didn't light me up, right? And doing online courses just didn't light me up anymore. Even though they totally pay the bills, right? They can be very profitable.
Sure.
But they just don't feed my soul, and I think I need things that are feeding my soul now.
So that's the new realignment for you, it seems like. As you go through this transition, you're sitting with what feeds my soul. Is that what you're doing? You're listening to that, and you're just kind of...
I'm trying. It's hard, though, because I'm saying no to a bunch of income streams that have been really...
paying the rent
and like sustainable, but they just don't do it for me. So now I have to trust that the next thing is going to be okay. And that's like, it's like when you leave a relationship that's not great, but that it's meeting some needs. Sometimes you have to trust that there is a better thing out there.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you have to kind of trust in the future you.
Yeah, and you know what? And also, they're. I hate to say this. It sounds very Debbie the Downer. I don't think it's about what's out there as far as a person. It might be. I like what you just said in that you got to trust basically you, and then whatever you attract or don't attract is not going to sway you.
Yeah.
Because if you put, because I used to do this. I used to pause life, and when the thing happened, or when I got the girl, or when I got whatever, then I was happy. And a lot of times that doesn't pan out.
It doesn't. Well, or it doesn't last.
Or it doesn't come when you want it to, or it doesn't look the way you want it to, right?
I think we just need to set up future you for success. And sometimes that looks like making very hard decisions.
Yes.
And just sticking with it, knowing that it's going to be okay. It's hard though. Trust and faith are
gosh,
I mean, I saw your holy Bible back there. Faith is hard. Faith is hard because it requires some data points that you are going to be okay. Right, if life hasn't been going well for you, it's going to be really hard to trust that it's going to go well for you.
So you know what really helps me? I don't think about trusting myself. I know that's important. I think about trusting my story. So I take it out of myself, and I've always been this believer that whatever is happening in my life is unfolding because it's greater than myself. And so since my divorce, which was the beginning of my rebirth in 2010-ish. When things got bad and I felt like just a buoy in the ocean, I trusted my story more than myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, there's the story spans lifetimes. It spans the whole lifetime, right? And so a snapshot of how you're doing right now in the moment isn't indicative of how you're going to do in the future or how you've done in the past.
Right.
It's like looking at one page of a book and going like, this is what's this is going to happen forever.
Which most people do. But if you're able to pull back, and I know we don't know the future, but if you're able to pull back and being like, okay, this is, here's my act break, and this is why this happened, and the divorce was a catalyst to this, and this relationship expired, but I learned this, and you start to see a story, you start to see someone going somewhere and coming back, then it holds weight, and then you trust that. To me, that's easier to trust than like John Kim.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I also think if I look back on my life, I've never ever been like fully dropped on my ass without getting picked back up again, right? And I got sober at 25, and that was really fucking hard because all of the experience that led me to getting sober were really fucking hard. But
why did you get sober? What was the incident that? What was the rock bottom for you?
I mean, the rock bottom was that I was really unhappy with my life, and that I realized that alcohol was keeping me small, socially, physically, career-wise, professionally, relationally. It was stunting my growth.
Were you an alcoholic, or did you just, when you drank too much?
I mean, I've been doing drugs. I started doing crystal meth at 15.
Oh.
16.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So on and off a lot of drugs, and always alcohol and always weed. Like daily consumption for 10 years, basically.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So when you stopped that, what filled that hole?
AA.
Oh, okay.
12-step.
Yeah.
And all the people in AA. I mean, I woke up one morning and I was like, all right, I'm going to stop drinking for a year. And I went to therapy and I told my therapist, and he's like, oh, great, go to AA, get a sponsor, work the steps. And I'm like, what? AA? Okay. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
But you kind of know what it is from movies.
Right.
You don't really know what it is.
About it, yeah.
Yeah. And so I showed up and I was like, oh, I'm an alcoholic. I got it. And I just saw people who were living a happy life and I wanted what they had, and I just stuck around. And I never drank again, you know.
Do you believe that addiction is in our blood? Do you believe that because you plugged that hole, there's now possibly another hole that can...
Oh, I mean, I've been... sex, food, caffeine, nicotine, everything, you know. Like, but none of those really ruin lives the way drugs and alcohol do. Right. Like, you could die from cigarette smoke for sure. I mean, my dad died of lung cancer. So that can ruin lives, but it's different than alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
That stuff is insidious. And
crystal meth is...
That's a hell of a drug, though, by the way. Have you ever done that?
I've never done it. Should I give up on this?
I don't know. I think maybe we just prop it.
No, yeah. Shaun, I'm not a quitter. The answer is no.
I'm a quitter. I'm a quitter. I quit drugs and alcohol.
Crystal meth is one of the most addictive. So I worked in rehabs for many years. It's one of the most addictive drugs.
Did you ever work with Dr. Drew?
I met him. I did not work with him.
Nice. I heard he's fallen off the rails a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. He started doing crystal meth.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Don't spread rumors.
Okay, sorry, Dr. Drew.
I submitted one of my clients to his. It's not his. He partners with someone at the Pasadena Recovery Center, which was the center of a lot of his unscripted reality shows in the 90s about rehab. Yeah. But he's a sweet man. I met him once. I also met Adam Carolla, and those two together was basically the after party in my driveway listening to Loveline. So they meant something to me.
I mean, Loveline. That's where I learned about sex. That's where I loved it. And I wasn't, because you're how old are you? 52.
51.
I'm 41. Okay, so we have a decade. I was in bed. I was in middle school. I was in bed listening to it on my little white Sony Cube alarm clock.
Yeah.
Everyone had that or the hamburger telephone. And that's what I was listening to at 11.
I mean, what did you love that show? It was amazing.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to recreate Loveline in some. The Taxi Cab was like
your version of Loveline.
Taxi Cab Confession meets Loveline.
Oh yeah.
The other show idea I have, everything's like it's a Loveline type of thing, you know, like.
I mean, we're kind of doing it now.
Kind of. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to questions. I love Loveline. I think that the new generation, they don't really know who Dr. Drew is. You know, Adam Carolla did very well. I think he's doing very well in podcasting.
But we talked about the man show. That's not.
Oh, that would.
We're gonna lose people here. We're gonna lose people.
That would not fly today.
We're gonna lose people.
But anyway.
All right, should we do some Q&A?
Let's do some Q&A.
Did we answer? Did we close out some pieces there that we had to? I mean, I guess I do want to say, I'm always looking for something. You know, in AA they talk about filling the God-sized hole.
Are you still so in recovery? Are you active still in AA?
I'm not. No, because I moved to Montreal and then I couldn't ever get plugged in. I think I just really missed San Francisco AA.
Let me ask you this: how do you know if whether it's food, drugs, exercise, sex, whatever it is, if you believe that as a recovering addict, you can default at any time? How do you know if something is in fact something you got to stop, like it's too much, or so with food and sex, it's very hard because those are normal things that we you know what I'm saying, as opposed to say if you're shooting a needle into your arm, that's obvious, but. How do you know if this sex is healthy and good, or if it's now you are being compulsive and it's feeding into your addiction? Right?
I think
the cheeseburger.
The litmus test is it impacting healthy living, generally healthy living, right?
Right.
So if you're taking so many showers a day but you can't get to work because you just need one more shower, you got a problem with showers. Right?
Yeah,
what I'm saying is it could be any behavior. Any behavior.
Yeah.
Like for me, nicotine. It feels good at first, but then it becomes compulsive, and I can't be without it. I can't go to a movie without gum.
Yeah.
I was using so much Nicorette that I gave myself TMJ.
Wow.
Which is like a throat a jaw pain.
So
it's negatively impacting my life. I have to go look at that behavior.
Got it.
Right. If I'm having sex and I'm having like high risk sex,
or you're like doing things where you're hurting other people, or
definitely if I'm hurting other people, if I'm eating so much that I feel sick, most of the time.
That was me last night.
Okay, yeah,
I had half a pizza, an entire pizza half.
I know, but we worked out.
I think
I felt sick last night too.
I gave myself. I think I used working out as an excuse that because I work out, I can do this, and then I just let the wheels fall off, and then I'll have a night where, I binge. I mean, let's call it what it is. I'll binge and feel shitty about it, and I have to be horizontal, not because I'm horny, but because I'm bloated.
Yeah.
And then I just lay there and I feel like shit, and then I just tomorrow I'll punish myself by working out.
One of the things that my therapist is very like food positive, and she's worked a lot with eating disorders. And one day I remember saying like, fuck, I ate a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's last night, and she was like, was it good? And I was like, what do you mean was it good? I felt terrible. She's like, yeah, but did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Right? Because
what does it matter if you did enjoy it? Of course you enjoyed it. That's why you had a pint.
Well, but I'm forgetting the good parts of the pint.
Oh, you're just shaming yourself.
I'm just shaming myself, and the pint actually did fill some needs, right? I mean, that's like our primary source of comfort, like breast milk, right? As a baby, we want food.
Yeah,
we need
it's our pacifier.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's exactly what this is. So the coffee, which I drink, I know I drink too much of and spend way too much money on. And yet it gives me comfort knowing that I was going to have a conversation with someone. I needed a pacifier in my hand, so I went and got this. I didn't need it. I don't.
You don't need it. No, you're still wired without it.
Yeah.
You're present.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it, and I think it's all about making baby steps towards the kind of life I want to be living and the way I want to feel.
Yeah.
Right. And so I can't do coffee after 1 o'clock, or else I'm not going to sleep very well. And I'm older now that I wake up at 5:30. I can't help it. I can't sleep in past 5:30. So that means I can't go to bed at 2 a.m. without suffering some consequences.
So it seems like you really just need to know yourself, and you create your own definitions on what's honest to you, instead of drawing hard lines and saying this is addictive behavior, this is not. It's different to the individual, right?
I think so, and I also think that just being gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of like harm reduction. Right, and so like just being gentle around any of your behaviors that you don't like.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Yeah,
almost too gentle, but yeah.
too gentle.
Yeah. But I think it's important, especially for men. Men are so hard on themselves generally.
I mean, women are so hard on themselves too.
Yeah.
Everyone's hard on themselves.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know where that comes from. I guess we're socialized to be hard on ourselves. Like
a lot of it's upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I had a dad who never really trusted me to make my own decisions. And so I, right now, as a 41-year-old, struggle making decisions.
Oh,
it was really hard for me to commit coming to LA. I was like, well, I can come to LA, I'll get to see John, I'll go on TV, but then if I can ride bikes. It's like I get paralyzed.
Wait, so you thought to yourself, well, those are the great parts, and then what stopped you? What cock blocked all that? I mean, you're here, so you made it.
I made it. I was like, dude, you're gonna like it. It's gonna be fine. Like,
what's the part of you that says, I can't do this, I don't want to go?
I think it's FOMO.
That if you come here?
No, if I stay at home, at home, then I'll miss what's in LA. But if I go to LA, I'll miss what's at home.
What's the fear, or what is it that would be blocking you from coming here if you know logically I'm going to do these things, I'm going to be on... He was on the morning show, by the way. That's why he met by TV.
KTLA.
All this stuff. And then what's the part of you that is stopping that? Is it because you don't believe you deserve it? Is it because is it self?
Well, no, I think maybe I'm always trying to optimize, which is also why I think I have a hard time staying in relationships. I'm always like, this is good, but can I do better? Coming to LA will be good, but what if it's not that great and I should have stayed at home? I mean, this is a topic that me and my therapist talk about. We've talked about for years, is this FOMO, and it just leads to being paralyzed. And I just need to make a decision and stick with it, knowing that I have to grieve the other avenues, right?
I could be on the Angry Therapist podcast, but I really want to be on the Armchair Expert, and I feel that.
Yeah, we're in a garage now, not a little
attic.
A little attic, yeah. But I'm working my way up.
Yeah, he's only 15 minutes away from here.
Is he really?
Yeah, but I think his place is gated. Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
but I might drive my M5 outside. It might get him out.
Yeah, your M5 is real. It's not a Honda Accord with an emblem.
It's a real M5. Yeah. Old E39.
Yeah. Unlike my cars.
Well, you have nice new cars, which don't have problems.
All right, let's get to the questions.
Okay.
People don't care what we're talking about. When we said cars, they were like, all right, guys.
All right. What is your opinion about polyamory? Do you talk about this?
Shit. No. This is. I mean, it's very topical. I have it's hard because I have not practiced it. I know it's very topical. I think the execution would be difficult. There's a part of me that really believes kind of in the theory in that we are loving spiritual beings, and I don't think we're necessarily meant to be with one person. I think that's a choice, but to execute because of our programming, brainwashing, and tracing old blueprints of love, multiple partners, or actually loving multiple. I don't know how, and also who's got how much time in the day and energy.
A Google Calendar is a thing. People are like sharing each other's calendars to make room to see each other.
Yeah,
it's like a active concern. Time,
and then you also have to be with a partner who wants that as well. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that it's not for everyone. People think it's sort of like a Band-Aid. It's not a Band-Aid for a troubled relationship.
Yeah, no. It's actually going to take a black light very fast if your relationship is in trouble.
It's going to end it. It's going to end it.
And by the way, there's a difference between poly, which is you're able to love as many people as you want, or depending on
have multiple kind of
love, actually emotionally engage.
Yeah,
as opposed to an open relationship that may mean that you could have physical exchanges, but you have a primary person.
Yeah, and it's a spectrum.
Yeah, right. You basically can customize in any way that you want. But
so I think it's not the answer to a failed relationship or like a low libido or lack of desire for one partner. It's not going to fix any of that. Mm-hmm. I think it requires a high level of communication.
It requires a lot of fucking inward processing, and all
it's
stuff.
more.
It's going to activate the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's going to activate. You have to sit with a lot of discomfort, like while your partner's on a date. You're going to have to self-soothe because they will not be available for you. Like you're not going to interrupt their date to get some validation.
Right.
So you're going to have a safety net, friends, self-soothing practices. You're going to have to be able to regulate your emotions on a regular basis.
Well, also after the fact, you're going to have to work through if you're feeling resentment, jealousy, or if you feel that now your partner has cheated on you and you start holding that card above their head. Like there's so many things. I think most people are not equipped for this.
It's not for most people.
I just think it requires. Well, I think most people are doing it for the wrong reason. First of all, so I'm glad you touched upon that. Where I think a lot of people are doing it because their relationship, there isn't a lot of sex happening or intimacy, so they're like, let's open it and let's I think that could work if people are maybe into different things, like kinks and stuff,
kinky stuff. Yeah,
but if their relationship is not trusting and strong, and if there's no foundation there, that's cracking. The worst thing you can do is open your relationship.
Yeah,
it's gonna go down quick.
I think also there is less sex than you think there will be. There's a lot more processing emotions and talking about than actually having sex.
Yeah.
It's not the solution to a whole bunch.
I mean, I know there's apps and stuff nowadays, but still, I think it's hard to meet people in general, and especially if you're busy, if you have a life and a career, and if you're a parent. Like, I just think it's hard to execute. I don't think it's something that.
Yeah, but they do find. I mean, there's like field
communities.
Yeah, there's communities. There's these potlucks, polyamorous potlucks, where they're all kind of hanging out and chatting, and there's events and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, sure. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It can be.
Okay,
next question.
So that's what we think about polyamory.
Sorry if that wasn't informative.
Why would we? We don't have to apologize.
Okay,
it's free, right?
Also, we need to be gentle on ourselves, John.
Also, this microphone's in my face.
It's supposed to be in your face.
Can you move the camera so that it's not blocking me completely?
Well, I actually don't care about the shows you. I just want to.
I know that.
I mean, it is my account, but yeah, you're right. The microphone is. It kind of looks like something.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is weird. It's like hard to look. I should be looking at these.
This should have been your homework
ahead of time.
This should have been your homework. Yeah.
I get a lot of questions about asking if people can date me.
I don't edit my podcast, so
I know this is.
You got about 4 seconds before I start losing listeners.
What's the best way to cope with dating rejection? Or just rejection?
Rejection. I like. I mean, rejection's tough. I've been rejected many times, of course. I love this whole, and this is not new. I'm sure you've heard it before, but I love this looking at it like it wasn't a good fit. Like I don't care who said they're not interested, but the fact that one of us is not interested means that I'm saving time. It means that and also, like, if I have to convince someone to like me, what would that look like in the relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I try to not take it personally by saying it's not a good fit, and I'm okay with that.
It's out for me. It's out of alignment.
Oh yeah, so that's another way of saying it, but it's a little more spiritual. It seems like.
Yeah, it's out of alignment, and there's something better for me.
Oh, okay.
It's more aligned down the road,
Aligned,
but I
right.
do have to accept this. A lot of people say,
How do you believe there's something better for you?
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, what other choice do you have?
Right, it's a mindset.
What other choice do you have? That if you don't believe there's anything else out there, then you might as well just give up. It's over. This is the best you could do.
So the danger of rejection isn't so much someone's no, but it's the internalization of it, right? So it's someone saying, I'm not interested in you, and then you taking that and saying, okay, what's wrong with me?
I'm a bad person.
Yeah,
I'm not attractive.
I'm short. I'm losing my hair.
I'm Asian. I'm Korean.
I can't grow a beard. All that stuff.
You got a wicked goatee, though.
This is the longest I've ever had.
Oh, I thought you weren't talking about you.
Huh?
You were talking about somebody else.
Well, I'm always talking about me.
Have you heard rejection is God's protection?
No.
So it's again another spiritual slant saying this is not for you.
Yeah.
I'm actually saving you from this thing that will be worse down the line.
That's harder to believe for me. I like the alignment thing though. People
also say rejection is redirection.
Oh,
so you're being redirected to something else.
I like that a lot. That's really.
I just try to when a relationship ends or someone doesn't want me, I just try to shower them with as much love as I can, which is a really hard thing to do, but it's a very it's a beautiful practice.
As long as they don't think you are trying to get them more.
Yeah, I don't.
You're respectful.
I don't want. If someone doesn't want me,
you're not desperate about it.
Yeah, I just trust. Again, we should call this trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Speaking of
2 more questions.
Breaking up, how to resist getting pulled back in. The good bits were so good.
How to resist. Oh, how to resist around 2. Okay, so what I tell people, the question I ask them is, what would be different this time? I think a lot of us, we get back into relationships or give it a second chance because, they have abs now, or because it's been, a certain amount of time, or you feel that people have changed because they, started doing some therapy. But I really feel like if the relationship dynamic has not changed, what caused it to go down is still going to cause it to go down.
Most likely.
So, secondary change that's irreversible. That means 2 people have to go on some kind of inner journey and be different. So then when they're showing up to the relationship for the second round, the dynamic of the relationship is different. That's what's important for it to have a chance.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, this to me sounds like a relationship that getting pulled back in, it's not a healthy relationship, right? So there's high highs but low lows. And
are you getting pulled back in because you are playing back the highlight reel, or are you literally getting pulled back in because the ex is calling you and saying, let's give this another shot?
Well, you're probably getting pulled back in because life feels flat without them. And you're missing, you're missing the highs and you're missing the lows.
Yeah.
Gambling addicts are actually addicted to losing, not to winning?
No. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I guess that feeling of losing. Is that much more powerful. It's more powerful than winning, and that's what they sort of...
Well, also, if you win, it means you should stop, right? If you lose, it means you need to get this money back. There's more desperation in the losing.
Right.
It's more action-oriented.
But also, not being in a toxic relationship does feel kind of flat and kind of boring when you're used to this chaos.
Yes. Yeah, if your homeostasis is chaos, and this is why a lot of people, I think, they find someone that they think is healthy for them, but then they file that as boring because they're used to a very activated nervous system, and so if someone provides a safe space and makes them feel calm and grounded, they might stamp that as boring.
Yeah.
And so I always say you got to swim past the breakers.
Yeah.
You got to swim past that until your body is now redefining what is boring and what is not.
Is that tattooed somewhere on your body?
It's too long to tattoo. This is my word cemetery right here.
I like the fuck well rounded, sharpen your edges, but I just saw it as fuck well, sharpen your edges.
Well, fuck well is also not a bad thing.
Actually, that'd be
Fuck well.
fuck well. That'd be fuck. Because I have a friend who has made well on his fists.
I mean,
And so he goes like this. He goes made well. But what if it said fuck well? That'd be great.
what would fuck well even mean? What would that mean to you?
Just be a good lover.
Yeah.
Fuck well.
Fuck well. So yeah, because fuck is a little graphic, but then well makes
It softens it up.
it softens it up. Yeah. It's supposed to like fuck hard. Fuck
Some
well.
people like that. I'm a softie actually. I like slow sex.
Well, that's why you do the Yonis.
The Yonis.
The good at the Yonis.
I think being uncircumcised also has something to do with it. Why did that make you laugh?
It's weird what you throw in at random times.
But that's how I keep them guessing. You know.
And then so now I have to do we open up that box?
We don't have to.
I guess I could tell you that I am circumcised, but I got circumcised late because we were Korean, and in Korea they don't circumcise you, or at least they did in 1973, and
you had a thing.
So when my brother and I came to America, we started noticing, 10, 11 years old, that, oh my God, our penises look different.
Yeah.
Ours look like, kind of like worms.
Anteaters.
Anteaters. Ours look like little baby anteaters.
Yeah.
And then the white boys, they look like they have mushrooms.
Like a mushroom.
They're like mushrooms.
Cremini.
Yeah.
Cremini
And
head.
so we felt kind of ostracized.
Also,
Judged.
How are you seeing penises at 10 years old? I'm not seeing any penises.
P class.
Are they doing a penis check or what?
I wonder if it was because this was the 80s. I wonder if it was a combination of that and then being introduced to porn and seeing dudes' dicks so young.
Again, I don't remember. I don't ever.
You don't see dudes' dicks in porn? They're all circumcised.
I do. No, I like seeing uncircumcised penises in porn. I'll go seek it out. You can type in uncut penises and you'll get a bunch of.
Because that makes you feel like you're.
I just think
normal.
I think they're prettier. No offense. I mean, it's a personal decision, but.
It's like the hoodie makes it prettier.
I just think.
Well,
yeah.
when I this was at a young age because I was uncircumcised till about 12 and then I got it done late, which is it's not good because it's very painful. But I liked it more after I was circumcised because it was cleaner.
Yeah,
it was easier to take care of.
Oh, you definitely have to clean. There's a
so
definitely.
It's like a hassle. So why? What about the hood makes it look better, sexier to you?
Well, I don't know. Aesthetically, I just think it's
more exotic.
It's more exotic. I mean, it's more European.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I think there are some benefits. Well, we don't have to talk about the pros and cons of circumcision.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, you brought it up.
I know it's true.
I didn't want to leave you hanging.
I will say though that one of the arguments for circumcision is that that I hear nowadays that I think is kind of absurd is that like, oh, I want him to look like his daddy. Right, like if his dad is circumcised, then they want the kid to look
to match
and to not feel weird. And I was like, yo, I don't remember seeing my dad's dick. I've never
actually seen my dad.
I don't know whether he's circumcised or not. I just don't think that's a solid argument for getting. And even if it was a little different, I wouldn't be like I'm less than. Like
my dad used to make fun of my dick. He said, John, when you were small, your dick was so tiny. When we like brought you home from the hospital and stuff.
Yeah, you're a baby. You're an infant.
And then he just
that's not a very nice
and
thing to say.
He's never seen my dick, but he just always said that as a joke, just fucking with me.
That's not funny.
I wonder how it affected me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to ask Vanessa. Okay, last question. Do you think we're a little too obsessed with attachment style?
These days, well, I think social media grabs anything that is quote unquote trending and then runs with it, and then it loses its potency. So it's not just attachment styles. The word trigger, which everyone uses all the time, it's not used in the correct way. Like, you should say it's activating you, not triggering you, because like a trigger is legit like someone who has PTSD, and here's a helicopter and there's a trigger.
Yeah.
Just because you have feelings, it doesn't mean... So now we're using the word trigger like something's coming up because you're saying a joke and, oh yeah, you trigger me.
Yeah.
But I'm being activated.
Yeah.
Right? So narcissism is another word. And of course, yes.
Gaslighting. It's like, oh, did we just disagree? I'm not gaslighting you because we disagreed.
Attachment styles has become... And also codependency. These words have become so... everyone has a megaphone now, and you could say anything you want, and you may not be an expert, so there's a lot of people cutting and pasting. So they're just hearing shit from the feed, and they're just regurgitating it. There's a lot of that happening.
But as a therapist, don't you think that attachment theory is like a tool that you
No,
can use?
I think it's significant. I think it's huge.
But it's a tool that you use to diagnose your patients, not something that we should just be like,
It's not a diagnosis because it's not a personality disorder. Attachment style is it's a model. It's a way of looking at your attachment and how that
how you were raised and
right,
how it affects
and
you in
how that affects your
relationships.
relationship. I think it's really powerful. But I think even something like love language is powerful, because once you realize that your partner speaks a different love language. Vanessa and I speak very different love languages. I'm all acts of service. I'm words of affirmation. She's acts of service.
So like
We overlap at touch.
Yeah.
But once I've realized, that's the way that she gives and receives love. In order for me to be a better partner, I now stop writing her name in the sky. I stop writing poems. It doesn't land as well, but instead I'll do something.
Yeah.
And that will make her feel loved. Right? She also knows she has a thing in her phone where it reminds her to write me something. If
Yeah.
she doesn't, that's not the way.
You like that.
I love.
You like a little love note here and there.
Yes, but I also know that that's not her thing, so I don't expect it. And so when she does write me something, I know how hard that was for her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so that.
So they're tools.
So they're tools.
They're
so
tools.
So I think even that can be any tool that makes you understand yourself and partner better is great, but I think it's dangerous when people start using it as a label.
Yeah.
Or judge, or like, you're anxiously attached. I can't. It's almost like it's the same thing with astrology, man. These are broad strokes.
Yeah.
And then when people start saying like, I can't date an Aries.
No, it's
Not,
what
I'm saying?
Cancer moon is the real problem.
I'm a Cancer moon, so are you?
Me too.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
I think we just have a very soft, in touch, emotional body.
Well, why is it a problem? Because we can't hold it.
I was kidding. Yeah, I was kidding because we're both that.
I don't think I have a soft body.
Soft emotional body?
Oh, emotional body.
Yeah. Okay. No, you have a really hard body. You make sure that stays nice and tight.
And circumcised.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a good place to end, isn't it? It's not my podcast, but
can we end with yes? Let's end with this. Let's end with. So I'm writing a book right now. And it's going to be called Love or Loving on Purpose, and
you're really going for it with that on purpose.
I knew you could. Jesus, are you implying that I sold out? You're implying that I sold out.
No, I'm implying that you've got a good.
I got a fucking.
you got a backyard renovation. No,
yes, my people are trying to definitely franchise the On Purpose.
No, you didn't sell out. You got a formula that works. We all want.
Yeah, that's the reframe. That's the reframe.
Yeah.
I got a formula that works. So break up on purpose is coming out in December, and then I'm writing right now Love on Purpose, which is about how to attract love and then keep the plane in the air. Anyway, my point is I start the book with our definitions, right? We pull from our definitions. So my question to you: what is your current definition of love? And I say current because I don't like the new word, because if it's new, it sounds like it's dried cement. Like, here's my old and here's my new, right? Here's my before and here's my after. And I think love is a living, breathing thing, and that it's always changing as we change, right? So you notice I don't use a lot of periods in my sentences.
I'm still waiting for you to stop talking, but it's also a good opportunity for me to think about.
Well, I'm buying you time because I want you to have.
It's hard to think when someone's talking, though.
I just know you're not as fast as me, so I have to buy you time. This is me being generous. You know what I'm saying? Do you have something?
Yeah. So,
what is your current definition of love?
I mean, my favorite definition of love is M. Scott Peck's from The Road Less Traveled, which is the willingness to.
No, I know the book, but what's the definition?
I was going to tell you. Yeah.
Sorry.
The willingness to make space for other people's needs. The willingness to maybe I'm not. Maybe
I don't know if that.
That's
a lot
not
of people.
it.
Vanessa would have a big problem with that because of the word needs. But
I
think you're paraphrasing.
I think I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, forget
that. Can't
the spiritual. What is it?
God, I bought you so much time, dude, and that's your current definition. Make space for other people's needs. It sounds like
a people pleasers mantra.
Yeah, I don't think it's the road less traveled. It's definitely not.
I made that one up.
Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea, man. I have no. I'm just trying to have a hot girl summer here. I'm actually just trying to take care of myself.
What is a hot girl summer?
That's just where you have fun and a
hot girl. Like, you're saying you're the girl, or you want girls?
I'm the girl. I'm calling myself a girl.
Hot girl, summer.
I don't have a current definition of love right now. I mean, I feel like a bad love coach.
But that could be that's an answer. That's okay.
I'm just taking care of myself right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm in transition.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Shaun
sorry, dude.
Sorry. Guys, I'm sorry. He really is good. I've heard him.
Trust me, I was on TV today.
He was on TV.
I was on TV
Yeah, and he answered his questions well.
I gave it my all this morning on
you
TV.
Did. You ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a morning guy. All
right. Well, let me.
What's yours?
Okay. So, my old definition of love used to be, I'm gonna buy you some more time because I believe in you, Shaun.
Okay.
I want you to hit this up.
Yeah.
Okay. My old definition of love used to be, lightning in the bottle. You go down, I go down with you.
Big sparks.
Yeah. Or it's not love. It's us against the world. Friends are extra. Fuck friends. We don't have time for friends.
Yeah. Don't fuck friends.
Definitely don't fuck friends. And then control, possession, being sticky and in disguise for the one and all that shit, right? Today I believe that if you go down, I'll give you my hand, not my life. Mm-hmm. Today I believe that, and this is, I'm not saying it's easy to execute, but my belief today is this. This is what I and listen, it could change tomorrow, but my belief is, I want you on this planet, because our lives are so short and our time here is so short, to have as many experiences that you desire and want, and I want to champion, support you in that. And if your decision is, my what I want for myself is not you, then I will still support that as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the highest form of love. Is it hard to do? Of course, because we can get jealous, activated, controlling, and blah blah blah. And so, but I think that's my current definition of love is like, go live your life and let me live, with you.
Hop along for the ride.
Join you on the journey. Not ride backseat, but also just ride shotgun.
Yeah.
But support you in. Don't be a backseat driver.
Yeah.
You drive the car however you want it. And vice versa for me too. And I gotta say though, speaking of the poly thing, I think this is the only way to execute poly is to look at it through this lens, where it's like, okay, well, if your desire is to have sexual experiences with other people, I don't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah. Well, the most loving thing you could do sometimes is let somebody go.
Yeah, be free
to go. It's like the girlfriend that wanted to be alone. I was like, good, go do it, and then she ended up with some other guy. It's like I could be mad about that, or I could just say, well, that's just not for us.
Well, if you didn't let her go, that doesn't mean that would have fixed things.
No.
Like to me, her ending up with another guy was a symptom. That was a ripple of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
It's not even a new definition of love.
Okay, is it from an author?
No, it's
okay,
from me. This is all original.
This is original.
I just want someone to grow tomatoes with.
Oh.
It's not fancy.
Yeah. No,
it's not fireworks.
Yeah.
We're doing something together. We're building something together.
Yeah.
I want someone to grow tomatoes with, grow chickens with, collaboratively live together.
I like the tomato. I don't want to do the chickens, but the tomatoes I like.
It's a low effort.
Well, it's kind of poetic and simple, and because Shaun and I are very competitive, it reminds me of what I used to say a lot. Love is grilled cheese and soup on a rainy day.
Yeah,
but not every day.
Right.
Tomatoes, grilled cheese, soup.
Tomatoes.
Hey, thank you for listening, everyone. And Shaun, where can we find you?
The Love Drive on Instagram and Substack, ShaunGalanos.com.
Yep, he just launched his Substack and
lots of writing, intimate stuff,
and
how-tos.
You also run retreats, and
I got a new micro podcast called Voicemails to Dad, where I leave voicemails to my deceased father.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just launched it.
Oh shit!
On Substack,
that's
because my therapist, when my dad was sick with cancer. She was like, make sure you're telling him everything you want him to know before he passes. And I said, no, I'm doing it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Were you close to your dad?
Yeah, I was. And now that he's gone, that's not true. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff I wish I would have told him. And so I'm telling him, via voicemails.
Can I say also one of my motivations? I would say it's probably the greatest. Why I produce content, or why I've got close to 800 episodes on my podcast. because most of my podcast is me talking to myself. It's not. It's like Shaun's voicemail to dad thing. It's not guests. Is because my dad didn't speak English well. I didn't speak Korean well, so we didn't have much of a relationship.
Oh, wow.
Other than like, how are you doing today? Like we could speak. Are you hungry? Let's go eat. But there was no deeper conversations. There was like I don't know his inner journey other than he was an alcoholic and all this kind of stuff. He was also very charismatic and fun and inappropriate and stuff, which in a good way. But if he had a fucking podcast where he talked to himself 3 times a week documenting his journey, it would be like gold to me.
Yeah.
Because he's passed now, but I could actually get to know him. Or if he had 1,000 videos, or if he was answering questions or whatever. We have nothing. We don't even have photographs. And so I do this because one day I want my daughter or anyone anyone who wants to know what I was thinking in my life, they actually have tons of access to it.
Yeah. I have no audio of my dad and very little video. I have photos, I don't have his voice.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. So I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Even though she might not ever listen to it, it's there.
That is true. She may not. She's definitely not.
Well, she will after later.
She's spitting on my arm.
She will later.
Yeah, not in high school. Yeah, it's gonna be long time. I'll definitely won't be here on the planet.
You need to archive it.
Yeah, she'll be in her 30s before she's even curious. So,
I'd be so happy if I had stuff like that my dad had left behind.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the time capsule, I'm gonna have like 4,000 episodes for her. She won't even get.
You might give her a sizzle reel or something, little 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Here, if you watch anything, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank you for listening. Be well.
Thanks, everybody.